Today's project is the 11th glove in the year of gloves, and this one is one of my favorites. I kind of say that every time, but this one really is. So it has a little secret pocket here, and it's sized so that you can fit in one of those like hot hands hand warmers. So it's not huge, but it is there, and you could wear it either way. I usually like it on the back of my hand, but if you wanted it on the palm, you just wear it on the other hand. So yeah, that's pretty fun. And it uses front post and back post stitches. So let's get started. You'll need a size G crochet hook and some DK weight yarn. I'm using Swish DK in Forest Heather. You'll need 2 balls of yarn of this for a pair of gloves. The first thing you're going to do is make the pocket. So inside this glove, if I can turn it inside out, there is a second piece here. This strip right here is the pocket, and it gets sewn in to the glove. So first we're going to make this rectangle. In order to do that, I'm going to start with foundation double crochet. You can start with regular chain and double crochet if you'd like. I just prefer foundation because it's a little stretchier and I just hate working into chains. So I've not in my yarn. Okay. So foundation double crochet, I'll chain 3, and this does count as my first double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook in the first chain that you made, yarn over and pull up a loop. Now chain 1. That extra chain is your base chain, so that's the stitch you're going to work into next time you have to enter for a stitch. Yarn over and pull through 2 twice to finish the double crochet. Now yarn over, insert your hook in that extra chain you made at the bottom, yarn over, pull up a loop, chain 1, yarn over and pull through 2 twice. You're going to do this until you have 12 stitches, again counting that first chain 3 as a stitch. Okay, so now I have 12 stitches. Now I'm just going to chain 3. That counts as a double crochet, turn, and double crochet across. You're going to just repeat that row until you have 8 rows of double crochet. And just so you know that the 8 rows of double crochet includes your foundation row, so you did 7 additional rows of double crochet, so you have 8 rows total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's good. So you're going to make 2 of these, 1 for each glove, and then just set them aside. And these are the same size for every size of glove. Just so you know, you can modify the size a little bit, but just be aware that especially for the smaller size gloves, there's not a lot of extra space to be able to sew it on, so you don't want to get it too big. And once again, for some reason, when I make these videos, my gauge gets bigger, but that's okay. Okay. Now, going on to the main glove. So this is a right glove. I'm going to make just the left glove, and there are slightly different instructions for each hand. Most of these patterns have had the same instructions for both, but because of the pocket, if you make the same glove twice, the pocket will be on the back side of one hand and the front side of the other. So they are slightly different for the 2 different gloves, just to be aware. And just like for the pocket, we're going to start with foundation double crochet, but this time we're going to do 30 stitches instead of 12. Once again, if you want to start with a chain and double crochet, you can. Just be aware that this is going to be the cuff here, so you're going to want to make sure that your starting chain is loose enough so you can stretch it over your hand. So once again, to start foundation double crochet, I'm going to chain 3, yarn over, insert my hook in that first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, so chain 1 at the bottom, yarn over and pull through 2 twice to finish the double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook in the extra chain you made, yarn over, pull up a loop, chain 1, yarn over and pull through 2 twice. I'm going to repeat this until I have 30 stitches, and on the last stitch I will show you how to join it into a ring. And once again, I'm demonstrating the 7-inch size glove only because that's the size I wear. If you're making a different size, then you will need to follow your pattern to figure out your stitch counts, but the basic technique is going to be the same for all of them. Okay, so I've done 29 of my 30 stitches, so I have one more to go, and here I'm going to want to join this into a ring to make my cuff. So I'm going to start the same, yarn over, insert my hook in my base chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. But now before I make my chain 1, I'm going to insert my hook in the starting chain. And now I'm going to yarn over and pull through that one and my first other chain. So I'm going to pull through both loops. Now I'll finish the double crochet, and now I'll just join to the top of this stitch with a slip stitch. Now you can, if you prefer, just do a regular foundation stitch, join the top, and then use the tail to sew the bottom together. Both ways work just fine. Okay, so I'm going to chain 3. This counts as a back post double crochet. I'm going to just alternate front post and back post stitches. So here I will do a front post double crochet. So insert my hook from the front behind the post of that double crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, and finish the double crochet. And then a back post double crochet, so yarn over, from behind, insert my hook around, make sure you can see this, around the post of the double crochet, grab the yarn and pull it through. Now finish the double crochet. So I'm just going to alternate all the way around and then join with a slip stitch. So front post, maybe, back post, front post, back post, all the way around. All right, then for the cuff, you're going to do 4 more rows of that. So you have 5 total rows of front post, back post alternating. And for the cuff, we're not turning. So you're just going to keep facing the same way. If you decide to modify the glove to make a longer cuff, just be aware that these will start to spiral slightly because we're not turning. But with only 5 rows, it's really not noticeable. So just make sure you do front post in your previous front post stitches and back post stitches where you did the back post on the row before. And then we'll work on the glove. Now that we're done with the cuff, we're going to change our pattern a little bit here. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and the chain 1 does not count as a stitch. It's just to give us a little bit extra space when we turn here. Now we're going to front post double crochet 3, back post double crochet 3 all the way around. So I'm going to go front post 1, 2, 3, back post 1, 2, 3, front post 1, 2, 3. Oops. Back post 1, 2, 3. I'm going to continue like this all the way around. So I joined to the first front post double crochet. Now I'll chain 1 and turn. Again, that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So you're going to do back posts wherever you had a front post and front posts wherever you had a back post. So they're going to line up directly. So I'm going to start with 3 back post double crochet. Oops. 1, 2, 3, then 3 front posts, and 3 back posts. And again, I'm going to do this all the way around and then join to my starting chain. Then I'll start to join it to my first post stitch, which is right here. It's kind of hidden behind here. So you can see we're starting to get this texture to come out. It's not quite a basket weave, but it does have these ridges because we're alternating front and back post stitches. Now this next round, we're going to start doing some increases. So we'll chain 1 and turn. And we'll start just the same. We're going to front post double crochet 3 right over our ones that are behind here, our back posts on the previous. So we're going to do that 3 front, 3 back, 3 front, 3 back, and then we'll do our increase. So front double crochet 1, 2, 3, back 3, front 3, back 3, and now we're going to do 3 more front double crochet, but now we're going to do a back post double crochet in the same stitch. So we're just going to go around that same post from the back. Oops. If I can not split my yarn, let me try that again. So we have 2 stitches around that post, 1 from the front and then 1 from the back. Now we're going to do a front post double crochet, a back post double crochet in the same stitch, and now 2 more back post stitches. So what we've basically done here is we still have 3 fronts, then we have 1 back, 1 front, 3 backs. So we're still alternating back to front, and we added this extra back front pair in the middle here. Now we're going to finish the round normally with just 3 front, 3 back twice. So we've increased by 2 stitches. So for the next 2 rounds, we're just going to be kind of expanding that increase that we started until they're groups of 3. So let's chain 1 and turn. And we'll start normally here. I'm going to start with 3 back post. 3 front post, three back post. So this part's just normal. Three front post, three back post, and now this is where our two little increase ones were. So here we're going to do 2 front post double crochet around this one. That's 1, 2, and then we'll do 2 back post double crochet around the next one. And now we're free here to keep going in our normal manner, 3 fronts and 3 backs all the way around. So we will have increased by 2 more stitches, and then we'll have 1 more row of increases. This round we're going to increase 1 more time, well, 2 more increases to go from 34 to 36 stitches. So we'll chain 1 and turn. Do 3 front post double crochet, and then 3 backs, and another set of 3 front, 3 back. Three more front. One back post. So you can see here is where our increase was from last time. We're doing 1 back post on the first one and 2 back posts on the second one. So we're increasing 1 more time right in that same spot. So now we're back to having a set of 3 back post stitches. And now here's our other increase. We're gonna have to do the same thing. We're gonna do 2 front post stitches in the next stitch and then 1 more front post. So we're doing an increase right here. So going around the same post, and then a front post stitch in the next stitch. So now we have reestablished our pattern of sets of 3 alternating front and back. And now we're just going to finish this round in pattern, so alternating 3 back, 3 front all the way until the end, and then we'll join. Okay, now we've joined. We're not going to have any increases for the next 2 rounds, so we're just going to work in pattern. So chain 1 and turn. This round we're going to start with back post stitches. On the next round we'll start with front post stitches, but just alternating sets of 3. So I'm going to go do those 2 rows off camera, and then I'll come back for the next increase round. Okay, so we've done 2 more rounds just regular. We should have, if you're doing the size 7-inch glove, 36 stitches. So we'll need to increase again. We're going to once again add 2 stitches this round. So we'll chain 1 and turn. And we're just going to start out normal. We're going to start with 3 back posts, 3 front post, 3 times. Now I'm going to do a back post stitch in the same, around the same stitch. So this is my first increase. Now I'm going to do a front post stitch. So this one already is in the front, but I'm still doing a front post because this is my other increase. And then I'm going to do a back post in the same stitch. I'm going to do 2 more back posts and finish the round in pattern. So we added 2 extra stitches. Here we've got front post, back post in the same stitch, front post, back post in the same stitch. So 2 increases right next to each other. Okay, now we're going to increase 2 more. So we should end up with 40 stitches if you're doing this size. So chain 1 and turn. Again, we're going to do in pattern front post 3, back post 3, 3 times, and then we'll do our increase. So I've finished 2 back posts here. You can see this is where we had our increase. So this one I'm going to work a normal back post stitch into for my 3rd one in that set. And now here I want to increase, so I'm going to do 2 front post double crochet around this post. And then here was our other increase. I'm going to do 2 back post double crochet around the first stitch of that increase. So I'm going to increase 1 more here. And now I can finish in pattern. So the second stitch of that increase is part of this set of 3 that I need to do front post double crochet into. And then I'll just finish this round normally, alternating every 3 stitches. Okay, now here's where things are a little bit different. We're not going to increase again, so you notice that we didn't have a complete set of 3 where we did those increases. We had a 2 and a 2. So we're going to do 4 rows. Oh, and also keep in mind that if you're doing a different size, you might have more increases or a different number of rows. So please, please look at your own pattern and make sure that you are following your pattern. Okay, so we're going to do 4 rows, 4 rounds in pattern. So when you get to those increase sections where there's only 2, you're just going to do 2 and 2. So you'll do back post 3, front post 3, 3 times, back post 2, front post 2, and then you'll do another back post 3, front post 3, 3 times. And then the next round, it would just start with front post instead of back post, but it's the same thing. 3 rounds normal, 1 set of 2 and 2, then 3 rounds normal. So 4 rows, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to do the thumb separation and the pocket addition. All right, now for the fun stuff. So I already have a right glove done, so I'm going to demonstrate a left glove. Like I said, this is one of the few patterns in this set, maybe the only pattern in the set that has a different instruction for the right versus the left glove. So be aware of that when you're doing yours, and make sure you make one of each. Okay, so you will need your little pocket square rectangle that you made and your glove. So we're going to start off, again, just normal, a chain 1 and turn. I'm going to back post 3, front post 3 twice. Okay, now I'm going to back post double crochet 3 more, chain 3, skip 10 stitches. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do 1 front post double crochet. And I will say, if you don't want a pocket, because I love the texture of these gloves even without the pocket. So if you don't want the pocket, just continue and finish the round in pattern. But if you do want the pocket, this is where you're going to add it. So you've done 1 front post double crochet on this side. You're going to grab your pocket, and this is going to go just inside your glove. Now, it doesn't really matter if it's this way or this way, whatever way you want to work into it. Just slide it in so it's going to line up right here. And now you can just kind of ignore this tail here. We're going to work our next 12 stitches. We're going to skip these ones here and we're going to work them into the stitches on here. So we're going to single crochet 12 stitches across here. And so single crochet, not post stitches or anything else fancy, just regular single crochet. So I'm going to insert my hook in the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. And then I'm going to do 11 more of those. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 is in the chain here. So you can see here, it's not really attached yet, so it can easily kind of slide out, and that's okay. It's gonna get attached here in just a minute. So now we're gonna skip 12 stitches on our main glove, and then we're gonna do 2 front post double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we'll do 2 front post double crochet to finish this set of 3 here. And we are going to, at the end, go back and sew the rest of the pocket to the inside of the glove. So it's fine that it's just hanging out right now. You will sew it in later. Okay, so there's our 2 front post double crochet. And then we should be back to our start, which we are, and then we just join to our starting stitch. So you have just created a thumb hole and attached a pocket. So the first time we skipped stitches here where we did the chain 3, that is our thumb hole, and this is our pocket addition. And you can go ahead and try the glove on now if you want to make sure the thumb fits. Just be aware that it's going to be a little wonky without the pocket sewn down all the way, but that's okay. So now we are going to chain 1 and turn. I'm going to front post double crochet 2, so right here in these 2 post stitches that we did. We're going to half double crochet 12, so in all of the stitches on the little pocket flap here, we're going to half double crochet 12 times. So if you need a refresher on half double crochet, you yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And the reason we're doing half double crochets here instead of post stitches is really just because it's kind of difficult to work post stitches around single crochets. So this is giving us a little bit of height so that we can get back into our post stitches. Okay, so that was 12 half double crochet. So now we have our single little post stitch right here, right before where we join the pocket. So we're going to do a front post double crochet there. Now we're going to do 2 double crochet over the chain. Now we're just going to finish in pattern. So we'll do 3 back post double crochet here. And then we'll go 3 fronts and 3 backs until we get back to the end of the round. And then you join just like normal. Now we're going to kind of reestablish our front post back post pattern. So we'll chain 1 and turn. We're going to do back post 3, front post 3 twice. So this is the side without the pocket, so it's a little more straightforward. And we'll back post 3 more. We'll do a front post and then a back post in these 2 double crochet at the chain, at the thumb. Now we're gonna just finish it in pattern. So we're gonna do 3 fronts, 3 backs. So we're gonna just go across these half doubles. So a front, 2, 3, and then 3 backs. So we are just reestablishing our pattern here. Then 3 fronts. And 3 backs. And then 3 fronts. It should be the last stitch of the pocket and the 2 post stitches after the pocket. And then join to the start. Now the next 2 rounds, we're going to decrease 1 stitch each round. So your hand kind of tapers in a little bit. If you don't want to do that, you can just do it in pattern for length, but I like mine to squeeze my fingers just a little bit. And so we are going to decrease 1 stitch each round for the next 2 rounds. So we'll chain 1 and turn. We'll do our front post 3, back post 3 twice. Then 3 more front stitches. Now we're going to do a front post double crochet 2 together. So the front post double crochet 2 together, so it's a decrease using front post stitches. So I'm going to yarn over, go around the first post, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, but don't finish the stitch. Yarn over, front post in the next stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. So we decreased here right at the thumb. Now we'll do 3 back post stitches and we'll just finish around in pattern. Now we have 1 more round to decrease, so chain 1 and turn. We'll back post 3, front post 3 twice. Now your back post double crochet 2. And then a back post double crochet 2 together. Alternatively, you could back post 1 more and then a front post double crochet 2 together. Either way would work. Just be aware here, this was where we had our decrease last time, so don't get confused. There's only 1 top of a stitch here, so these 2 posts are really the same stitch. So make sure you go around both of them when you go around the next stitch. So we'll yarn over, insert our hook from back to front, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, but don't finish the stitch. Yarn over, from the back around the post, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3, and now we can finish normal, so 3 fronts, 3 backs until we get back to the start of the round. So now we've reestablished our multiples of 3. So now we're just going to do 2 rounds of working in pattern. So front post 3, back post 3 all the way around, and then the next round, back post 3, front post 3 all the way around. So if you're working the 7-inch glove, you should have 30 stitches right now. And then if you want a little bit longer in the fingers, you can just repeat those 2 rounds again. So you can do as many rows as you want in pattern. So I'm going to do 2 more, and then I'm going to tie it off, and then we'll come back, we'll finish the thumb. So we'll add a little bit more length to the thumb, and we will finish sewing in the pocket. All right, you can cut that string once you've got your length the way you want it. So there's 2 more parts. One, we're going to, like I said, extend the thumb a little bit, and second, we're going to sew in the pocket. If you would rather sew in the pocket first, you can, but I'm going to do the thumb. And if you like the thumb not being bigger, you certainly can skip this part. It's your glove, you do what you want. Okay, so we're going to find the middle of the thumb. So if you remember, on the thumb we had 2 sets of 2 stitches. So right in between them, that's the middle. So we're going to join right in the middle there. Now, I'm not counting that as a stitch, I just joined in there. So now I'm going to do 2 front post stitches, and I'm joining on the right side, so I'm going around the outside of the ring. So 2 front post stitches, 3 back post stitches, now I'm going to slip stitch 3 across the chain that I made here. So it doesn't matter exactly where you do it, just 1 before the first stitch, 1 in between the 2 double crochet, and 1 after, so they're evenly spaced, but even that, it's not super critical. That's just what I do. Now we're going to do 3 front post double crochet. So here, these are still the stitches that we skipped when we made the thumb. Then we'll have 2 back post double crochet and the 2 post stitches on the edge here. And then join. So if you're doing this size glove, you should have 13 stitches here. Now we'll chain 1 and turn. We're going to do 2 more rounds. In this round, we're going to do a decrease. We will back post 2. And we'll front post 3. Now we're going to do 2 double crochet over the chain. So it doesn't really matter where you put these. I like to put one of them kind of in between these 2 stitches from the hand, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to do 1 before. Oops. Actually, maybe I'll just do one after. So 2 double crochet there. So that's technically our decrease because we had a chain 3 or 3 slip stitches and we just did 2 double crochet there. So now we'll do 3 back post stitches. Definitely gets a little hard to see the stitches, so don't be afraid to stretch out your fabric a little bit to see where the posts are. Got one more back post stitch here. And then 2 front posts. And then we'll join. Now I just have one more round for the thumb. I'll chain 1 and turn. Front post 2. Back post 3. And we'll do 1 front and 1 back over these 2 join stitches. So front post, back post, and we'll do 3 fronts. And 2 back. We'll join to our starting stitch. We'll cut our yarn. Now all we have left is sewing in the pocket and weaving in ends. So for sewing in the pocket, you're going to want to turn the glove inside out. And so you can see here's where we attached it and it just kind of flops. So I'll show you on this other one that I've already done. This glove, here's the pocket, but it's now been sewn down along the side. So you can see this one comes all the way down to the cuff. And with the 7-inch glove, it will come all the way down, even overlap the cuff slightly, which is why you really can't make it a bigger pocket for this size. Now you can sew it together using whatever technique you'd like. I am not great at sewing, so not sure I'm really the best example here. But on the plus side, it's on the inside of your glove, so it's really not going to show. The only thing I recommend is just make sure that you don't go all the way through. So you don't want to go all the way through and then back up because you don't want it to this yarn to show on the front side. So you're going to go through just like the side loops just on the back when you sew it in, because then your thread that you use to sew it won't show on the front. And if I was thinking about it, I would have left a long tail here to use to sew in, but I didn't, so I just grabbed some more yarn and I'm just going to start sewing. You can start on the side, you can start on the bottom, you can really start wherever you want. I'm going to choose to start on the bottom just to kind of help me keep it straight here. So I'm just going to go in there and go in here. come back up, and go back down. So like I said, I'm not great at sewing, it's not my forte, but this is a very forgiving project when it comes to sewing. So as long as you don't go all the way through and get your thread on the front of your project, you are golden. So just keep sewing it in, and pretty soon you'll be done.